So this is how our final product looks like. We have a simple tally form that we are going to use to input our criteria and trigger the workflow. And whenever the workflow is triggered, a new sheet will be created and the information will be added there. Let's begin with the keyword. I will do SEO for the country. Let's do United States, city, New York. Category, I will leave it empty for this test. Result offset, I will exclude top 3. Pagination, let's scrape the first 2 pages and I press submit. A new sheet will be created right now and the data will start being added here. Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great. So today we'll be building a system that will scrape Google Maps, find the emails of decision makers of those businesses and validate the emails. Most tools we'll be using today are almost all free except for an email finder, which is the only paid tool. Let's begin with Tally. It is the form that we have used at the start. So just type in Tally, create an account. Once you create an account, you will land on dashboard similar to this one. Press new form and let's start building the form. Let's name it Google Maps Scraper. Let's first create our first field on Tally together so you see how everything works together. Then I will move over the rest of the fields quickly to not make this video too long. First thing first, click on press enter to start from scratch. Click on the plus, short answer, and let's name it keyword. Always click on the start to not make this field required. Before I move forward, please make sure that the result, offset, pagination limits, maximum reviews, and minimum reviews are all number and not text. Once you are done, click on publish, and now you should have your Google Maps form with the URL. Now that we have our form ready, let's move to OpenCache. OpenCache is a free tool that will turn our city and country into coordinates. Once you create an account, just head over geocoding API and you will have your API key here ready. Then let's go to an email finder. An email finder is the only paid tool that we will be using on this workflow. It is a tool responsible for enriching and validating the emails of those decision makers. Once you create an account, you can subscribe on trial to see how everything works. Go over API and you have your API key ready here. Next, let's move to SERP API. SERP API is the tool that will scrape Google Maps. It has a free plan that allows you to do 250 searches per month. The first thing that you see once you create an account is your API key. Next, we will need a Google Sheet. So I have already created a Google Maps scraper. Simply create a new sheet for now. Once you are done with the spreadsheet creation, go to NaN on the new workflow, click on the plus, type in Tally. If you have never used Tally, you will have to install it. Add to workflow, create new credentials. Let's go to Tally, go to settings, API keys, create new API. Let's name it NaN tutorial, create, copy, paste it there, and we have successfully created the API key. Next, select the forms. If you have just created a new one, you will just have a new form. I use Tally quite a lot, so I have several ones. Select the appropriate one. Next, let's test it out. To home, Google Maps Scraper. Test. One. Now we have our data. Let's go to spreadsheet, create a new sheet. Now select the spreadsheet you have created earlier. The title will be as follows. You can, of course, change it whatever you want, but what I've done earlier is the keyword in the city value. And to avoid issues with duplication, type in now dot format day. This way you are sure that you will not face any duplication. Next, let's go over set maps business name, business website or URL, business phone number, email decision maker. Okay, let's do full name first. Decision maker, email decision maker, LinkedIn decision maker. Then we have reviews, Did I miss anything? Okay, I forgot the category, business category, in case you want to track that. Business category. Forgot the job title. If you want to personalize your output. These fields that we have created right now are the headers of the spreadsheet that will be created every time you run the workflow, like this one: business name, business URL, phone number, and so on. Next, let's go to spreadsheet again, sheet, append row. Let's do this automatically. ID, but first let's do this. Enter spreadsheet, sheet ID, and now test with all the URLs created. Now that we have our sheet node created, let's connect OpenCage with our workflow. We need HTTP node get. Let's put this URL here. Send query. Key will be our OpenCage API key. Q will be the city, comma, country. It will be like this. Trigger, city, comma, space, country. Next, we will need code node. The reason why we need a JavaScript code is because the system in default will go over the first page of Google Maps only. And in order to make it scrape as many pages as we want, we need the following code. So the code I have already created it with ChatGPT. Okay, let's connect it. We will input here the result offset from our tally form. Result offset, we'll drag it here. And next is our pagination limits here. This way we have our workflow that will go over as many pages on Google Maps as we want. Next node will be look over items. We'll let batch size to 1. We'll delete this one for now. Delete this one. Our next node will be SERP API, the one that we will use to scrape Google Maps. So go on SERP API official, go to Google Maps. If you have never connected SERP API to NAN, just click on create new credentials, go to SERP API, copy your API key, paste it here, and you are all set. As for the configuration, resource set it to SERP, operation Google Maps. The query will be from tally, so you go here, value. The search will be as follows: sample at, go to your HTTP node, scroll until you find geometry, this one. So it will be HTTP node, geometry, like this, comma, longitude, comma, number 13, Z for the zoom. I have done a serial test and I found this to be the sweet spot. Make sure there is no space between the at symbol and latitude value, please. This way we can give it a shot again. Let's test it. So everything is working just great. Next, we will need a split node. The reason why we need a split node is because, as you can see here, Google Maps provides us with just one item. This means if we run the system as it is, it will always go over the first result only. That's the reason why we need a split node. We want to go across all these local results. So we type here local results. This way, if we run it like this, we'll pin this one out. As you can see, we'll have 20 items. Next, we will need a filter. The reason why we want to filter is to apply those criteria that we have input on our tally form. So we want the reviews from the split out. We'll scroll reviews to be less than or equal to number, less than or equal to the maximum reviews we have input at the start on the tally form. Reviews, maximum reviews, this way. And the same one, which is reviews, number greater than or equal to the minimum reviews we have input. And lastly, we need another filter, and this time is for the website. We don't want to go over businesses that do not have a website, of course. So string exists. This way we have our filters set up. Next, we need another loop over items. Again, we'll delete this one and this one for now. Just quick note for loop over items that we have added, because I know I didn't discuss it so far. The first one will allow us to go over the pages that we have input. This means if you input 2 or 3 pagination limit on the tally form, it will allow us to go over 2 pages or 3 pages, as many as we have input. The second one is for the items that we have split out. At the start, if you remember, we had one big item including the 20 businesses. We have used split out to split those businesses into separate items. The loop over item will allow us to go over those businesses one by one. Now let's connect our workflow with an email finder. So all we need is HTTP node. We will set this to post. The URL will be the following URL. You will find it on the email finder API documentation. Authentication will be generic credential type. Generic type will be header authentication, and we will create new credentials. For the name, we will need authorization. We have this on the API documentation, and all API requests require authorization. So we'll go over our workflow name, and this one is the key, the API key. So we go back to an email finder, API, and we get our API key. By the way, an email finder has an integration section where it has NAN, automate with NAN. If you click on it, it will take you on a download page where you can download the node pre-made, ready for you to use. You can choose anyone you want, and we are going to test it right now. For example, the one that we are going to use is Find Decision Maker email. So you press download, you go over your workflow. So right now I'm going to copy it just to show you how everything looks. We have the node ready. Okay, let's connect it for now. If you don't want to set up this manually, like I have done it right now, just click on the three dot here, import from file. You will find the file, Find Decision Maker email. You click and you have your file ready. In our case, we don't need all this. The only thing we need is this one. And it is set up like this. Post the URL we used earlier, authentication, everything ready. Now let's configure our email finder node. So first, let's name it an email finder. Double click on it, go over send body. On the name, first name, we'll do domain, and second, we'll do, okay, it is decision maker category, string. Okay, let's go here, decision maker category string, CEO. The reason why I type in CEO is because of their documentation. So as you can see on decision maker category, if you type in on the value CEO, it will get you either CEO, owner, president, or founder. If you type in, for example, sales, will get you sales, marketing will get you marketing. And as you can see, you can include different departments. You don't have to just stick to one department. Okay, let's move on the second one. On the domain, we will input our domains that will be coming from the loop over items. But for now, I will just use Google, for example. Why? Because I don't want to use a run that will burn all my credit. So I will just do Google, run this one, execute this step, so I can pin it and use that value later on. Okay. Now, pin, as you can see, we will get the output like this. Email, the person, valid, domain, okay, Google, the person full name, and person job title. Okay, now the only thing left is to add a new node for Google Sheet. Sheet, append row in Sheet, choose from ID, then we will get this one, spreadsheet. ID, sheet, ID, map in manually. Okay, execute the workflow. Okay, it didn't pass through. Why? Okay, it is because of the filter. It is set to, okay, label rather than value. Okay, it was my fault. Is equal to. Okay, I see that there is a mapping issue here. One should be greater than or equal to. This is for the minimum. And the other one should be less than or equal to for the maximum. And this one is labeled, so we'll swap back to get the value here. I will map both of them again, just to make sure. So this one is greater than or equal to, this means is for the minimum value. And less than or equal to is for the maximum, again, value. Right now, it should pass just fine. Yep. Okay, we have got an error. Let's check it out. Column. Okay, that's my previous column. That means, okay, the spreadsheet that I've used for the beginning when I've mapped these nodes are no longer available. So let's run it again so we can create a new sheet. Okay. No. Now at least have one value. Now we have the business name. We can map them all together. Okay, the business name, we will go to split. The business name is this one. Business website. Okay, here is it. Phone number. The full name of decision maker. Let's put it later on. Reviews. Okay, let's look for reviews. Reviews. Okay, we have the reviews. Business category is the type. Okay, now let's go to an email. Find a node. Email of the person. Full name. Job title. And LinkedIn profile. DM means the decision makers, just in case. Now the only thing left is to connect the loop over items. So this one should be here, and when it is done, it should be here, and when this one finish, it should stop. Okay, let's give it a try now. Yep, the workflow executed. Yep, that's because we have this sheet already, so it will not create a new one because it will create duplication. Just a quick note before we move forward. Earlier, it didn't create a new sheet because we had already a sheet with that exact name and the exact date. Okay, with that said, let's execute the workflow. Okay, it is running. Okay, new sheet has been created and the information is being captured here. We have an error. Okay, I know why it is. Okay, let's discuss a few points here. As you can see, the businesses are being added just fine. Email, full name, and LinkedIn are all the same. That's because I have pinned an email finder. This means it is going over the same record over and over again. But the reviews, as you can see, are different. The error here that you see is because of the plus. Google Sheet treat the plus as some sort of formula, and we will solve it right now to see how everything looks like when everything is set up properly. There are two different ways to solve this problem. We can solve it on the sheet level, but whenever a new sheet will be created, we will have to repeat the same process all over again. Or we can solve it on an AN level, and this time we will solve it just for ons, and every time a new sheet will be created, the phone numbers will be displayed just fine. Okay, so in order to do that, go to the last sheet we have created, go to the phone, next to the phone, dot, replace. We will now do this, quotation mark, double quotation or single quotation, both of them work, and we will replace them with nothing. Okay, this way, the phone numbers will be displayed like this. Okay, if we go back right now, delete this one, like this, launch the workflow again, you will see that the phone numbers will be displayed properly. Okay, I will cut this here and show you once the sheet is fully populated. Okay, so the workflow has finished scraping, and as you can see, all the phone numbers are displayed properly. Right now, the only thing left is unpin the email finder and properly map it away. Okay, so let's go to the system, an email finder, remove Google and replace it with variable website. The thing is that we cannot use this variable alone like this. That's because sometimes it uses UTM tracking, if you have noticed on Google Maps. That's the reason why we want to exclude all those trackings, and probably as well we'll exclude HTTP or HTTPS to make sure that our website URL is always clean. To do so, we need to use this code, and this part, as you can see, is the part that we bring here, website. Now, let's see the website as it is right now, and if we replace it, okay, not bad. Now, as you can see, we have removed the HTTP and everything that will come after .com in case someone use some sort of tracking in their URL. Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Now we will unpin this. We will unpin everything and launch the website. I mean the system again. Okay, so the keyword. Let's just don't this again. I don't know what I have with don't this, but we'll try it again. United States country, New York City, result offset. Let's do 3. Pagination 1. I don't want to burn my email finder credit. For now, this is not important. So I will leave it as it is. I might stop this the workflow to not go over all the records that it will find. First, let's execute it. Submit. We had an issue. What is this problem? Bad request check. Undefined. This means there are no coordinates coming from the HTTP request of OpenCage. Okay, let's see the output. I mean the input. What is got? Okay, I didn't type New York properly. I see country. Oh, okay, label. So we need to swap this to value. So United States. And let's try this once again. But before we do that, I know that the spreadsheet, I mean like new sheet has been created. We'll delete this one. We'll go again. Let's try to do another test. Done test. United States. It should type New York properly. Just one, and we will launch the system again. Okay, let's see. Okay, so everything is stopping on the filter, and I think I know why. Okay, yep. Always output data, it should be on. That's because we have a filter that says do not let the businesses that don't have a website to pass on. And therefore, if the business doesn't have a website, it will stop there. That's the reason why we need to always output data to go over the other items. The second problem is on this one, on these variables regarding minimum and maximum reviews. The way we have, or the way I have mapped these two variables is in a way that the system will always assume that there will be numbers, there will be inputs regarding minimum and maximum reviews. But in my initial test, I didn't input any minimum or maximum reviews. That's the reason why it has output null. So we need some sort of fallback. That means if I input a minimum or maximum reviews, it will take the value that I input. Otherwise, it will refer to the fallback. And the best formula I found to achieve this is doing so. Okay. So we will take this value, which is the variable regarding reviews, and greater than this is the fallback 0. And this one we will do it this way. 9. Okay, so we are almost done, but there is one more thing we need to do, is adding a filter after an email finder. Why we need a filter? That's because not all emails that will be coming from any email finder will be valid. Some of them will be valid, some of them will be risky, and some will not be found. In our case, I want just valid emails. If you are interested on the risky one, or you want a separate campaign for them, you can create, or you can add a node switch. So if the email status is valid, you will send them to a spreadsheet, to a sheet where you have only valid emails. And if it is risky, you send them to a separate sheet for different campaign where you use just risky emails. In my case, I will use email status equal to string valid. Okay, I think the workflow is done, and save. Let's give it a shot. Let's test the system once again. For the keyword, I will do low parent, for example. Country United States, city, I will still use New York, result offset 3, pagination limit 1. Let's do 2, but I might stop it. Okay, let's see. Everything seems to be working fine. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, we found the first one, so it is valid. Second one as well. Okay, I will stop the system to not burn the credits. And as you can see, everything is working just great. So before we wrap up, I've done some little changes that I think might help you out. So I have added this edit field at the start. If you import this workflow, the only thing you have to do is change these variables with your actual variables coming from your form. This way, it will be much easier for you because you don't have to map them across all these nodes, because I just did it right now for you. Also, you don't need to stick with Tally. I have used Tally for this test, but you can use whatever form you have. For example, some of you might be using Typeform. For example, I have created another system similar to this one, but instead of using Tally, I have created the form with Lovable, and it is hosted right now on my website. It looks something like this. Just to tell you that you don't need to stick with Tally. You can use whatever you want. With that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to drop a thumbs up. And if you have any question or need help with NaN or Make workflow, feel free to drop a comment and I will try to respond to every comment whenever I can. I wish you an amazing day and see you on the next video. Bye.